this is Animat, and welcome back to the Muppet Vlog. Now this time we're going to be looking into the 21st episode of the second season of the Muppet Show, which features the one and only Bob Hope. Now, even though nowadays Bob Hope is not really as big as he used to be, but for a good chunk of the 20th century, Bob Hope is pretty much one of the greatest entertainers of all time. He is known to be an actor, a vaudevillian, a singer, a dancer, an author, an athlete, like he mostly plays golf, and especially he is a comedian. He has appeared in numerous shows, whether it be through radio, TV, or movies, or whatever. There's just way too many to count. But, and also he is, at the same time, humanitarian, so he has definitely given a lot to, pretty much the world, and he has also pretty much given so many laughs at the same time. On top of that, Bob Hope is also known to be, like, the person who would host the Oscars the most, for a number of 19 times, actually, so... honestly, there's just way too many things to count. Actually, it said that, looking into my source here, it even says that Hope appeared in over 70 films and shorts, including a series of road movies that also stars Bing Crosby and Dorothy Lamour. So, this is honestly... just a living, used to be a living legend right there. And if you guys don't know, his well-known song, like pretty much his signature, is pretty much Thanks for the Memories. And now going into the episode of the Muppet Show that he appeared in, it was actually quite interesting. And honestly, I find it to actually be quite hilarious, but not for the reasons that you think. Now, mostly I have to say that it does have a bit of a slow start. Like, there are a few songs that it starts out as just like, it's okay, but it's not all that great. Like, they did Pig Calypso, which, not all that great, and then there's also For What It's Worth, which, interestingly enough, it was apparently there was a fact that said that a lot of the animals that appeared in that bit of For What It's Worth, a lot of them are actually recycled from Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. So that's just a little tidbit for any Jim Henson fan out there. But then afterwards, it's just nothing but a series of gags that are really hilarious, and they work like one after another, like bam, 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 bam. There isn't really much of a story in terms of the Muppets themselves, but it's pretty much an entire series of just running gags that are all really effective. Like, one of them that isn't necessarily a story is that Animal is trying to find a new hobby, and, like, he pretty much finds, like, all the craziest things that he could do, like, bowling, but you don't know bowling in the Animal style. There's also, like, alligator wrestling and hunting and all that kind of stuff. It ends up being great, but then there are also other great running gags. Just thinking on top of my head, there's also Muppet Newsflash, that they got another great one. There's also Rolf, that was really funny. They also have like a few one-off sketches like Muppet Labs or The Swedish Chef. They're all great. One by one, they are a lot of fun. I will say, there's actually one moment that it just, it calms down. There was a moment that is not necessarily funny, but, like, it's mostly very relaxing, and I'm surprised that they actually used a lot of the main Muppets. Like, this is a moment, like, a song where they sang was, Sing Me the Songs, and this was all done in a cappella, and it features the main Muppets. Like, they have Fozzie, they have Kermit, they have Miss Piggy, they have Gonzo, they have Scooter, they have Floyd. They also have, like, a few other extras, like some of the dogs, like Rolf. And they even brought in J.P. Gross, interestingly enough, all singing this, like, turn-of-the-century old song that it really does sound nice. And, it's actually a very sweet break from all the crazy shenanigans and all the great laughs that do occur. Now, the one thing, however, that I will say that it's not all perfect, actually. There is one little flaw that I would have with the episode that it seriously could have done better, and honestly, I'm really surprised that I have to say this, but it's actually Bob Hope himself. Considering that they do have a huge legend like Bob Hope, what they wanted to do, and that's basically kind of the story that they have with this episode, is that, like, we all know Bob Hope, like, he was pretty much at his prime during the, during that time when he was recording that episode of The Muppet Show. So they pretty much portrayed him as this very busy man, down to the point that he doesn't really have time to do, like, everything in The Muppet Show. Sometimes he has to do, like, some of the benefits here, some of the benefits there. And literally what we end up having is that, like, Bob Hope would go all over the place and not always at The Muppet Show like Kermit would hope for. And honestly, with that, with those moments, I just feel like a lot of the times when Bob Hope actually does appear, they don't legitimately feel like sketches. They don't really feel like normal bits like most of the other ones would have. It just mostly feels like Bob Hope would appear and Bob Hope is there. And that's it. It doesn't feel like a legitimate sketch. Like, the only one that does count is right at the end, known as the cowboy sketch, where Bob Hope was on a Muppet horse, and he would sing "Don't Fence Me In" with the horse. And also, like, throwing a few one-liners, like, trying to, like, pretty much do like, this comedy bit with the horse. And other than that, it just feels like a bit of a waste. And honestly, considering the talents of Bob Hope and the, like, pretty much the legendary man that he is, I just honestly find that it's extremely underwhelming, the use of Bob Hope that they have over here. That they didn't really bring in Bob Hope, like, they didn't use his full potential onto the Muppet Show. Like, they only really gave him a chance with the cowboy sketch, and even at that, it's not as funny as many of the other bits that happen on the episode. It just feels like, I don't know, they would often use Bob Hope for the same thing, is that, like, throughout most of the episode, it's just Bob Hope coming in and just saying, "Oh, I can't do it right now. I gotta go do this. Oh, I can't really do my monologue now. I gotta go do that." And it's pretty much mostly that with Bob Hope. And honestly, a part of me does feel like it is a little bit of a waste. I mean, like, you got Bob Hope. I mean, the dude is clearly multi-talented, and yeah, he does show a little bit, like, he can definitely sing, and he can definitely tell jokes at the same time with the cowboy sketch, but other than that, it's not really, you know, like, you expect a lot more, and, you know, like the fact that they did have Bob Hope, like, you'd expect that they would maybe, you know, like, use him as much as they would Elton John, like, like, the fact that, like, if you guys don't remember, with the Elton John episode, like, they prominently display him, like, he really took up most of the episodes, and it's all about Elton John. This one, however, with Bob Hope, it's not really about, like, it's barely about Bob Hope. It's not really about Bob Hope. It's mostly everything around it. So, overall, I would have to say, as a Muppet Show episode in itself, it is definitely fantastic. It is definitely hilarious. Whatever material that they have, they use a lot of the great ones over here. Like, this is a great example of a consecutive series of just short gags. Like, these are, like, each of these segments would be barely a minute, but they really do pack a punch whenever, like, the laughs would come in. They are absolutely hilarious. But as an episode about Bob Hope, it is a bit underwhelming. They really did not use his full potential, and considering that we are talking about a legend like Bob Hope, who really has done so much and really changed the course of entertainment, honestly, it just feels very underwhelming, and it's not, you know, like, you expect a lot more coming from Bob Hope appearing in The Muppet Show, but it really isn't that much. So, I would say that, like, if you want to go check out this episode, I definitely recommend it. You definitely go check it out. It is fantastic. But don't come in for Bob Hope. This is the kind of episode you gotta come in for the Muppets. If you forget about Bob Hope, if you forget, if you forget that this is an episode that guest stars Bob Hope, then you'll pretty much be fine, and you'll definitely get your money's worth with this episode. But anyways, that's pretty much it with this episode of the Muppet Vlog, so I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see that if the laughs will continue on with the next episode, on top of maybe actually making their special guest star a bit more useful. But we will only know for next time, so until then, see you later, dudes!